money like cashier. Get the money like a cashier. Customer, clientele. I was broke, that was last year. Getting money like cashier. Get the money like a cashier. Benjamin, nothing less. I was broke, that was last year. Don't change them. I never switched up. Been down since day one. Stay social. People change them. I never switched up. Social currencies.
Welcome to another episode of Dope Black Thoughts, ladies and gentlemen.
That's good.
Kevin.
My name is Marcus Ivy, and we have a special guest.
I am Hashim, also known in the political streets as Hashade.
Hashade for a reason.
And happy to have him here on the show. Quite frankly, happy that the three of us can finally make this work. You know how it works with CP time.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look, can we just take a minute of privilege to actually just kind of talk to Hashim for a second? You know, welcome. First of all, welcome to the Dope Black Thoughts family.
Glad to be here.
You know,
That's what's up. That's what's up. That is what's up.
Absolutely. And you know, glad to have you in as color into the conversation.
That's what they, yeah, the splash of gay.
And the splash of gay. Sometimes you need a little.
You need that sprinkle. It just takes a little bit. You know, talk to us. Tell us a little bit about who Hot Shade is.
All right, so Hashade. Right?
Hashade.
Yeah, so it's a playoff of Hashim. It was a name given to me for how I approach subject matter.
Fair enough.
And I don't really think it's shady. I just like, you know, it's the truth as I see it. But, you know, deal with it. Once I put it out, that ain't my shit to do. That's for y'all to deal with. Y'all
It's
have
a little bit of shade.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of shade. You know, my auntie is real cool. She was the first black woman I knew that would cuss somebody out.
Mm-hmm.
She smoked a cigarette and she had the attitude with it. Back in the early 90s, you know, that went a long way.
Didn't we all have one of those in the family?
And she would cook really good food, but she was single, so she wouldn't cook enough. You know, me and my big brothers would show up, and she got some really bomb food, and it's like this big, and we're going to split it up between us 3 6-foot, 300-pound boys, you know. So one day she's cooking something up, and I'm like, "Hey, Gloria, what are you cooking in there?" She says, like pork chops, something like that. I'm like, "Are you cooking it with love?" She was like, "Baby, I'm doing my best just to keep the hate out."
Okay.
Well,
right.
Well, yeah.
It just stuck with me forever. It stuck with me forever. I'm like 10 years old when that happened, but I know what that means now. Sometimes you got to put a little bit in, though.
You got to put a little bit in.
Every now and then, because you know what we can fall into the habit of doing, especially us being on the school board, we can find ourselves whitewashing things a little bit, or not whitewashing in the same culturally, but trying to clean things up. But sometimes you got to throw a little shade in so people know that it's real.
Right.
And everything ain't sweet out here.
I say you give them a baseline.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people like, oh, Hashim, that was rude. Like, no, you ain't seen rude. But do it again, and I will give you something to mark. Like, it can always be worse. But yeah, so, I mean, in politics, it's the vein of politics. Politics is my bread and butter. Colorado native. Went to G-Dub, local high school out here. George Washington High School, named after the first president of this country, who was a rapist and a slave owner, and all those good things that we don't ever want to let go of.
And people want to be the president,
but we don't want to talk about.
That's right.
Wait, kind of like when we have in office right now.
Funny. History full circle.
But he didn't have enough wives.
Well, he didn't have enough wives, but he's had enough engagement, enough cheating on his wives, right?
Oh, that's old.
Yeah.
Factual. So yes.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We're gonna talk a little bit today about Mayor Andrew Gillum, and it's not because we have Hashim here. I just want that to be known. It just happens to be the subject of today, quite frankly. And it's been hot. I've been listening to it all day.
It's hot.
And so no doubt.
It's hot.
It's hot. Now, if it had been like my first appearance on the show in June, then you all might be able to be like,
right.
They doing this for a pride gimmick or some shit.
Exactly right.
Come on now. We all see through this dope black thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know
exactly.
what kind of game you playing.
Right.
Yeah.
We ain't Nike.
So, yeah, exactly.
Here, then you give them a Pepsi.
Right.
Shoot.
Man, we have been privileged, I think, just to have a group of brothers come on the show and just talk and just not be overly formal about it. Right. And so I'm really happy to have you here. I just want to say that straight out, and just pleased about that. So let's dive into this. I'm gonna go ahead and start.
Can we give the baseline story of what's going on with Andrew Gillum? Because this may be news to somebody.
Yeah. So Andrew Gillum, black man that was basically the next Obama, right? They presented him to be the next Obama. Yep. This time, just the properly melanated type of black man in the White House. Got cheated out of the governor's race in the state of Florida. Then started doing like political work as it relates to voter registration. That whole thing that we need of black folks to do as it relates to being registered and fighting against disenfranchisement, right? Then earlier this year, it came out earlier this year, right? Andrew was down in Miami for a wedding. Decided to enjoy the benefits of Miami. And next thing you know, there are pictures of him laid out on the floor, bucky naked. And his career was on the fast path down. So all that happens. Everybody's critiquing all this type of stuff. Shout out to his wife, though, who has always stood by his side. And today, I believe they were on the Tamara Hall show. Shout out to the sister Tamara Hall. And it came out that he admitted that he was bisexual. And so now you have all these Hotep think pieces. And, and I said Hotep in place of another name.
I'm gonna need a little window of clarity into what Hotep was a replacement for. Because Hotep was actually pretty good to me. That was pretty good.
I was gonna get real comfortable, like shoes off, open 40.
We ain't sharing the
condensation is like beating up on the 40, and about halfway through, like that type of language. Fair enough. The word the NAACP is tried to bury.
Oh, okay.
But I was going to resurrect it. Yeah. I mean, Jesus just said Lazarus 3 times and it came back. So all I got to do is say it 3 times.
Right. One song. Anyway, so people tried to write some think pieces.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a whole bunch of stuff out there right now, like, Grady came out as bisexual, but what this is doing is perpetuating the stereotype that bisexual people are sneaky and they're unable to commit. Some folks are saying, nah, that dude ain't bisexual, he gay, right? And it's just a whole lot of stuff going on right now, but what I don't see right now, I mean, I'll give it time because the sun hasn't set on the news story, but I don't see groups like GLAAD, I don't see groups like Gill Foundation, I don't see groups like HRC, that's the Human Rights Campaign, not Hillary Rodham Clinton, coming out and saying, hey, great, you know what? This is what we're going to do. This is what, come be our spokesperson. I don't see them still using, and they never should have.
And even if not, at least come advocate on his behalf.
Same difference, right? Same difference. I get pissed because it seemed like the Democratic Party, once again, left another black person alone.
Yeah. That tent got a little bit smaller.
Yes. And this is coming to you as being one of the award recipients of the Democrat of the Year Award in the state of Colorado. I mean, the other name I go by, the Hashim Dem, right? And that's when my political hat is on. I'm like, vote Democrat. But I'm about the truth as well, too. And they left him aside. And just so much, like, if Andrew was guilty of everything that the media said he was, so what? The party should not have left him alone. Like, we preach another chance. We preach we're the humanistic party, and no matter what your defaults are, whatever, we want you in. But hopefully that stuff will come down the pipeline for him. Andrew's always been good in my book. Their relationship, like what they eat, won't ever make me shit. So I don't know what goes on in their home. That's not for me to deal with. So hat off to him. And we need to, I'm sorry, I'm hogging all the mic, right?
No. We needed the baseline, and at least for those folks to know what the baseline is.
Got you. Another issue that I have is the fact that we're really looking at and condemning Andrew for this. Or like, why is he coming out now? Or this is a stunt. but we're not looking at what society has done to gay men or same-gender loving men, as the great James Baldwin said, because gay is a white political term, and I am not white, but I am very political. On what it forces men to have to live in the closet. Right? And if society had been okay, if he could have been a black bisexual guy 20 years ago,
right,
he started this campaign, we wouldn't be dealing with this.
He's
right
in
now.
the South, guys.
Right. Florida.
Yes.
You know, they were still killing people in the South for coming out as gay.
Yeah. Still
where's
are.
Colorado? Is Matthew
Still
Shepard
are.
here?
Still are. Yeah.
Is Matthew Shepard here?
Yeah, Wyoming.
Wyoming. Okay, one, he's just an hour north. So they've been killing people for saying what he's willing to say now.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, we all saw it with Bruce Jenner's new identity. I can't remember the name. Caitlyn. I apologize. I'm not trying to dead name anybody.
That's cool, but you know.
But when people do come out, you actually this type of response is what's perpetuating them not wanting to come out.
Exactly. And one, to hell with Caitlyn. Caitlyn's a Trump supporter, right? Like,
absolutely.
And I really think that was done knowing that family.
Just speaking about the sexuality, not the character of the individual.
Right. But also just to make sure that there's a distinction between being trans and also being same-gender loving.
True.
Right, yeah. Sometimes there's some intersectionality that goes on there, but that is not, one doesn't necessarily mean the other thing. They're not synonymous with each other. Yeah.
Very true.
So what you said, something that you said really struck a chord to me is the fact that the communities out there who say they support your LGBTQ and being part of that LGBTQ, like GLAAD, and you said the Gill Foundation?
Gill Foundation and HRC, right? Those are just the
is there flag too?
Yes, but I think that's more about Friends.
Okay.
But nonetheless, you know, pick an organization, any organization.
Right. And no one has come out, at least in support at this stage. So here's my question, and this is not to cause division, but if a white man in a similar situation came out this way, what do you think would occur? Would the support be there immediately? Especially if someone, exact situation, just changed the pigmentation.
Yeah, it would be there immediately, or it might not even happen, right? Because they're just so interconnected that things get suppressed, right? This man, no crime was committed.
Right, exactly.
Let's be absolutely clear. There was no crime committed. It was a call made, for whatever reasons. Let's say because he was passed out and they were worried about his health. I still think he was roofie, but that's
okay.
Well, and I want to talk about
that conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but so it might not have hit the news, but then it did hit the news. Like, I don't know what's Andrew's not in my cell phone, but like if you listen to it, like, I'm cool. I would love to like mentor, friendship, or whatever. But
I'm sending this to you, Danielle.
Yes. But where are they? Where was the messaging? Where was the campaign to come out and support him as it relates to this? Because there was no crimes there, but I think it was a setup.
That's what I was going to say. I believe that this was totally a setup. Really? The releasing of the pictures, the position that he was in, it all seems funny to me, literally. And this is coming from a criminal defense attorney. I hear people say all the time, "Oh, I was set up." Probably not most of the time. Probably not 99% of the time. But there's that 1% where it gets you. For me, it's that lawyer sense. I get this little chill. I'm like, this don't feel right. And that's what this feels like.
Yeah,
it
does. Look at the picture and where the foot is, how it's placed. Like, come on, like I may or may not have ever been passed out from alcohol.
Right. I never have.
But the clean layout. Like, everything was just, like, staged. I'm like, that shit doesn't happen. And if this is supposed to be your friend, I might take a picture.
Exactly.
But it's going to come out in the group setting, right? It's not going to hit the media. So, even if the person didn't release the media, how did the police do it?
Well, I believe the police did. I truly do believe that was the source of information, and when this stuff comes out,
the plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen, because they're talking about details that I haven't really heard. So go ahead.
No, I truly believe that this all comes from there. Well, think about it. Not to change the subject, but think about Kobe Bryant and these pictures that came out, or pictures that did come out. That was done by the police.
All information's leaked.
That's all. It's all leaked, and it's all from someone on the inside, and it's done anonymously. Because
so you mean that those progressive liberal police Oh, we mean these conservative Republican police that also talked about when the tapes came out on Donald Trump that that they shouldn't be listening in and all this stuff is okay. And also, it's a game of gotcha.
Right.
So, were they playing Republicans, conservatives? Were they playing gotcha with Andrew Gillum? Isn't he married? Anything the Bible says, once you're married, anything you do in the bedroom is sanctified by the Lord. So, no one has any right to judge him about his sexual preferences or activities. That's between him, his wife, and his God. Mm-hmm. So, leave that man alone. 2, you're not a fan of that being leaked, right?
Right. Law and order, right?
Law and order, because that was illegal.
Law and order.
That was illegal.
Oh, and they're Christian too, right? We're Christian. We believe in forgiveness.
God of another chance.
Except if you're black.
You're black. Well, Mark of Cain.
Yeah.
Both of them? So then...
Mark of Ham. Explain this shit to me. Because I was raised in the church. Union Missionary Baptist Church right here in Colorado. Right? Church at least 4 days a week.
Curse of Ham? Is it curse?
Well, the curse of Ham.
It's the curse
right?
of Ham, yes.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be like the black people came from him. Mm-hmm. But how can 2 white folks have 1 black child?
Well, okay, let's get biological.
That is going to be a subject for another day.
Let's get biological.
That is a deep one, though. But she's
dominant gene.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So that means there's some other black folks in there.
So this is a common occurrence.
And it hit 1 kid.
Yes. Right.
How many children did Noah have?
Like when that one kid comes out with red hair.
Where
in Africa.
Come from? Exactly.
In Africa.
Get out of here.
But all peace and blessings to Andrew Gillum.
Yes.
You have allies here because you are a human being. You are a melanated man. And I don't believe you've done anything wrong. Anything you have done wrong, I'm not here to judge you.
And here's what really irked me today when I'm going through this story and I was listening to some of the talk shows. What really irked me, and I could use other words, but this is still a family show to an extent. And
sorry, yo.
You good. What irked me is when you get black folks that come on the show and they say that he has no credibility, that I hope he doesn't run again because there's no redemption. Who's the dude? Wiener? Anthony.
Yeah.
Didn't he run again?
He did run again.
I mean...
But Anthony
and
was
that's
a real...
the Democratic side.
He was a mess.
He was a mess.
Right.
Yes.
But the thing about it was they knew he was a mess before he got to Congress.
Yes. That's the question that we were asking before. If it was a white counterpart with a sexual related scandal, how would society react?
And the sad part is...
he got to run again.
There's so many out there, we normalize it. I'm guilty. I'll use I statement. I normalize it. Like, oh, bloop. And I normalize it, plus I'm also mixed with the point of, I don't care. That doesn't really matter, right? Like, whatever.
What are you, grown minding your business?
Right. But because it happens so much, we don't remember the non-blacks, the white people that they do this, that this has happened to, right? And we just keep on moving.
I got a list here. You know why? Because I was looking this up.
Right. But before you do that, can I just point out that this is part of the cis hetero patriarchy, that any sex scandal that involves homosexuality is worse than a sex scandal that involves heterosexuality. Because there's some nasty things that's going on in heterosexual relationships, y'all.
Yes. Unless it's 2 women.
Yeah, unless it's 2 women, then
that's hot.
2 girls, 1 cup. I'm sorry. No, there's things that people
I can't
do.
believe you said that.
Not that hot.
Oh, come on.
I'm just throwing that out there. He said 2 girls. I mean, a lot of guys operate under that rule, but it's not necessarily true.
That's about 2 girls, 1
we
stick.
wash away.
I'm sorry.
We wash away so much. See, that's why you need that splash, that splash of Hashim.
Yeah,
how they doing that?
Factual, yes. Yeah, that's it. No. That's right. That's salt.
I am this uncle in real life too, right?
That's so. I just wanted to drop that in there. Go for it.
So yeah, you're right. So there was a multitude of scandals. And so for those that really want to do the research, y'all can do the research. But let's just list off some names. Most of the names I don't know.
What's the source?
John Henson, Mississippi Republican.
What's the source on this guy?
Oh, this source is called. There's a couple. There's New Now Next, and then there is also HuffPost. I like HuffPost.
Okay.
I do. I like HuffPost. I'm sorry. So you got Aaron Schock, Republican congressman out of Illinois. You have Larry Craig, 2007 arrest, and these are all scandals that are based upon sexuality, not heterosexuality, but these guys, Republicans who says, no, I'm not this way, no, I'm not this way, but yet they get caught up. But you have to ask yourself, what did they suffer? And what is Andrew Gillum suffering? Charlie Crist.
So are these guys being outed as gay?
They've been outed, they've been caught, had issues, but yet they still, for some reason, seem to be
in office?
In office, and some of them have been. Some of them are not anymore. Robert Arango, Carl Kruger, Jim McCrae, Edward Schrock, Troy King, Philip Hinkey. I'm just throwing these names out. These are people that you can go look up and see what the resulting aspect of it was for them. And I guarantee you, they didn't get the same ridicule that Andrew's getting.
They didn't. They made the news cycle, and they're gone.
That's
right?
it.
The reason these names don't sound familiar to you because it made the news cycle, and it's gone.
That's it.
And you don't care anymore.
Yep. And there was you probably mentioned the name, but the restroom foot tapping Republican senator in the men's restroom.
Yes.
So, like, he's tapping his foot to signal, like, hey, let's do something in a nasty-ass public bathroom. That's my issue.
I try to hold my breath. And you're tapping toes?
And he's tapping his feet so he can open his mouth.
Sheesh.
I mean, he's just being honest. I'm just being honest. So, let's talk about some heterosexual, low-down, dirty dogs, such as President number 45.
We don't call him president here. We just say number 45.
Number 45.
Number 45.
Right.
Okay.
I call him the orange piece of digestive fluid.
This is why we need this.
So,
bring it in.
So, and actually, that's just comma. Newt Gingrich cheated on his wife while she's dying of stage 4 cancer.
So did John McCain, y'all's hero.
Boy, Newt Gingrich.
Hold that flag tight. Hold that flag tight.
Newt Gingrich did.
Candidate for the U.S. president at that time as well. Yes, had the affair.
While he wasn't he in impeachment of Bill Clinton?
Of course he was.
At the exact same time, he was doing worse than what Bill Clinton was doing?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, man. Now, if Hillary was dying of stage 4 cancer, this might be hitting home a little bit harder for me. But Newt had him beat. He was beating that drum. Mm-hmm. We got to get rid basically just trying to lynch that dude.
Yep, exactly. Maybe we need to be bringing these back up so that y'all can remember and see how they were treated compared to how Andrew's being treated.
Then he asked his dying wife to have an open marriage.
For the sake of being fairness, because this is who I am, right? Not all white men recovered from their sex scandals on their wives.
True.
Just lost the name. Damn it. How do I set this up and I lose the name already?
No.
White boy senator out of South Carolina. It's because he took his hit, I feel, that made the way for Obama.
South Carolina.
Yeah. Might be North, but it's one of them Carolinas.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Sure was a senator, wasn't the governor?
Nah.
You said senator, so not in the Congress, not on the
House side. Yeah.
Okay.
But he was running for president. Him, Obama, Hillary, Joe Biden for the second time. He took the hit. His wife was dying on cancer. He had a mistress, younger white dude too. I refuse to utilize Google because my brain is here.
I don't know.
But yeah, so he took the hit, never recovered back from that hit.
Well, now I'm curious. Now,
I have to know. Find out.
Was this in the? This was in the 2000s?
Mm-hmm. 2007, 2008.
John Edwards.
Oh, John Edwards.
Oh,
sheesh. You're right. You're right about that. Oh, goodness.
John didn't recover.
I don't know why I couldn't even think about that.
John did not recover.
He did not. You're right about that.
Man, he was clean cut, nice.
That was their one.
Polite, clean shaven.
I'm glad he did it, because that made way for President Barack Obama.
It did. That's true.
Sir.
That's true. It sure did.
Thank you for your service.
You played your part. March on, soldier.
There is a greater purpose, and that was the greater purpose.
Right.
Shoot, no, you're right about that. My goodness.
What about Mark Sanford?
Yes, Mark Sanford was up here. He's on this list as well. Heck, even Herman Cain was South Carolina. Herman Cain's on the list too. Herman Cain, Republican nominee for president. Sexually assaulted former subordinates when he was the head of the Restaurant Association. Up to 3 women.
That was in that Domino's game, huh?
Of course, we know Newt Gingrich. John Boehner?
He had it hot and ready before a little season.
John Boehner, too, huh?
So it might be a game of pick a Republican that didn't.
There you go. And it just may be.
Yeah.
This is the party of evangelical Christians.
Because Dave Young, DA, 17th Judicial District, Yeah, he got bodies missing. Like,
Sheesh.
listen, let me kind of wash my mouth. If I come up missing,
Right.
I don't leave nowhere without letting people know where I'm going.
No, that's right.
And I don't believe in suicide for me.
No, that's right. Same here.
Not for me.
For me. No, I believe in autonomy. If that's you, but not me. No, Jack.
That was good.
No, I want to be causing hell on my deathbed.
Right.
That is
Right.
not in my
Yeah.
repertoire.
Right. So,
Also, Kim Buck.
oh, yes.
Kim Buck was doing a little freaky thing, but the media tried to. Here we go.
Ooh.
Right. So this is hot news. Like, this is like 2019 recent stuff. Kim Buck, 4th Congressional District congressman, former DA out there, head of the Colorado Republican Party, was in D.C. His wife, when it was out here, I think she was in the House as well, to the State House, wanted to go out there to surprise him for his birthday. And she didn't say jack, but she gets out there, rings the doorbell, and he's having a party out there already for his birthday. And his mistress is there. But our media here knew about it, but they want to downplay it because, we believe in letting people have their lives, and that really doesn't affect his politics.
Right. Isn't he the current chair of the Republican Party for the
Statewide.
state of Colorado?
Yep, he is Morgan Carroll's counterpart on the other side.
So now what we're talking about is hypocrisy. We're talking about people that are intellectually dishonest,
Yes.
right? And so this reminds me of a article from 2018. This was recently covered by Benjamin Dixon. I watched him read it out on the video. But it's written January 24th, 2018. It's a picture of Donald Trump and President Obama shaking hands. And it's from January 24th, 2018. And the name of the article is White Evangelicals, This is Why People Are Through With You. And it just goes through all of the things that you're washing away that 45 is doing, has done, and says he will do. And you're claiming to be a Christian, a good person, someone of good moral character. You have a moral barometer that's written on your heart. You told me, right? This is why people are through with you. Because you continue to support someone that does not support children of color, does not support poor people, the people that are most in need. That is completely against Christian values.
Right.
Also, is fueled by hatred. We're supposed to love each other. But the leader of the strongest country in the world is fueled by hate.
Yeah.
Hate groups just going through the roof under this person.
So I challenge someone, right? And you can reach out to me through whatever methods you can find me, right?
They may find you, brother.
Listen, but reach out to me and tell me, out of the 10 Commandments, which one hasn't Donald Trump broken?
Ooh. Shoot. Hey, let's pull up the 10 Commandments.
Which one?
The first one is I'm your Lord thy God, and there should be no one before me.
10 Commandments.
Yes.
All right, because why not? Why not look up?
So saying you will put no one before the Lord thy God, Donald Trump, you broke that one. You broke that one hard and heavy. You put Donald Trump before the Lord thy God.
Well, the first one is acknowledging I am the Lord thy God. That's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Didn't he say at some point in time that he doesn't go to church and he doesn't repent because he doesn't commit
What's
sin?
your favorite Bible verse? I like all of them.
Yeah.
He said, what did he say?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
2 Chronicles.
2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians.
2 Corinthians. Walk into a bar.
Oh my
What did they order?
What's that? 3rd, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
So let's talk about all these paintings and
let's
all
talk
this
about all the
idolatry.
buildings.
All the idolatry, the gold
name.
ensconced items that say Trump.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain. Lord thy God.
Now we know he's done that.
Oh, come on.
Because he's the king of the Jews. You guys forgot he said that, huh?
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. I don't even think he
knows what day the Sabbath day is.
Ask him what Sabbath means.
Yeah.
Honor thy father and thy... Okay, maybe he didn't break this one, right? Honor thy father and thy mother. I don't know. He worshipped his father.
He worshipped his father, which makes him violate the others because he put a God before him, right? You're not supposed to do that to men.
Violated 1 and 2.
But we don't know what the relationship is like with his mother because he never mentions her name, so therefore there's no honor.
Is she a human being?
That's right.
There's no honor.
I beg to find out.
Thou shalt not murder. I don't know. There's 200,000 souls that may argue that their deaths were likely preventable.
The reason why your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, your holiday season will be different is because grandma and grandpa are dead because of COVID-19.
If you have not yet have someone that you know personally and love die from COVID, please get ready. Before you get off the phone with the people you know and love, tell them I love you. Because someone in this room may be dead in a year.
I'm not trying to be dead. I'm wearing masks.
It could be me.
I'm doing all of that.
That's 1, 2, 3, not it.
No, we ain't. It ain't none of three of us. We got too much work left to do here. So
this is too real. 200,000 people, though.
Yes,
that beats out all of our wars.
But see, that's have died of COVID. Mm-hmm. We're not talking we don't know what the complications because the millions that have been affected.
But we do know a lot of them,
right? But so
neurological.
It might be 6 weeks from now. I'm clear of COVID, but because my lungs have stopped because of my infection, or I've had respiratory issues, now I'm dead because of COVID. We don't the off-reaching of this, and we don't know about the suicides, right? From the lockdown,
right?
What are those numbers that we're not compiling that? So
if you would have done the lockdown correctly in the first place, it would have only been 2 or 3 weeks.
That you knew about.
And remember, CDC is not allowed to do really any of these studies. It took almost darn near an act of God just to get them to start studying gun statistics again, gun violence statistics. So you know for sure they're not going into these offshoots, these spin-offs of these health issues. What's the next one? Thou shalt not commit adultery. I mean, do we need to talk about it?
I mean, there's at least... All right, so if you don't want to believe the fake news...
Just don't pay for it.
If you don't want to believe the fake news, we know that he cheated on the first one, Ivana. Ivana. And then he cheated on Marla Maples.
Yeah, he sure did.
So...
With Melania, right?
Yeah, so there's at least 2.
Melania. But then he cheated on Melania.
I mean, there's been a lot of stuff.
He cheated on Melania because he was married to her while dealing with
Stormy Daniels. But if you don't want to believe the fake news, he's at least done this twice. This dude got 3 baby mamas.
Yes, he does. Yes,
and a kid by each of them.
He sure does. And Stormy Daniels, she doesn't speak highly of him.
He gets money with mobsters, with gangsters, with thugs, and he has baby mamas all over the place. What do you call that?
So next one, thou shalt not steal. Well, we know he's done that. There was Trump University was a complete scam and joke.
Stakes.
Trump stakes.
But any of the contracts, right? So you just do the light work, do the light dusting off about how Trump doesn't like to pay his people.
Yeah,
that's stealing. That's wage theft, right?
Yes,
it's stealing. It's exactly what it is. What his business is doing right now, his sons, Beavis and Butthead imitation.
They do look like Beavis and Butthead.
Exactly.
My goodness.
You should see them on video. They look hot.
How they're right. How they're making money off the American tax dollar.
If they're high, they got it from their dad.
Yeah.
We've seen the pictures of his desk drawers open with all that out of country antihistamines that still has the ephedrine in it.
Little meth based type.
Yeah,
stuff.
if you look at the film study, there's upper and downer Trump. You can tell if he's on or off.
And then why is his skin so pocky? So there's stuff he's way too old for acne. Right, for the for the hormone type of acne. Yes. But his skin is horrible, so using drugs always has a telltale effect.
Yep,
it does.
It always has a telltale effect.
Which part of it is, so he's covering up his skin. There was a picture of behind him where his hair flew up and you saw these dots. I don't know what they were.
That's from the hair transplant.
Them plugs.
So from the old school
these
hair.
Were massive.
So he had to have the
before
ulcer
technology was good.
Yeah, the technology was bad, and it was too much like the Barbie doll heads. So that's when he came home and abused his wife and ripped her hair out. And she says in a court testimony
look up
that
the
he
documents.
raped her.
Yes,
look up the documents.
His wife said that he raped her.
Yes.
After she ripped his hair.
By the way, there is a law. There's a law against raping your wife. You can be charged with rape to your wife. I mean, people think you can't. They think because you're married that you can do whatever the hell you want. No. And if I was a prosecutor, I'd prosecute the crap out you.
And women think you can't rape your wife, you're a rapist.
All day.
Right.
All day.
And for those that might be victims watching this, there's a movie I encourage you to watch, and it's an old movie, Farrah Fawcett. It's called Burning Bed.
I was thinking about that one with the girl from Contact and Silence of the Lambs. Jodie Foster.
Yep. What's the next one? Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
That means thou shalt not lie.
Don't lie.
What are we up to?
So when you're running for president and the previous president is born in another part of the country, looks a little bit different from you, may be of African American persuasion, may even be of mixed ethnicities. You don't say he's not an American and demand to see his birth certificate when you know for a fact that the federal government has already verified all of these things before he became a senator. He's bearing false witness.
Yes.
So the last one, if you go through the various scriptures, it's divided into 3. Thou shalt not covet. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's slaves, animals, or anything else. Depending on which version of that you choose to set. It doesn't matter. Thou shalt not covet. This man has coveted everything that President Barack Obama accomplished. He's coveted that love and affection, and he can only get it from those small groups of folks. He's coveted, obviously, other people's wives.
And so, let's a little bit.
So let's prove that. Let's prove that. There are friends of number 45 that said what he would do is he would record a conversation with you. If you told him about cheating on your wife, he would play that to your wife when he tried to sleep with her.
So, a couple of things. Like, I don't know how the oldest record or the newest recording is, but that, if it's not a 2-party state for consented recording, like, how come he's not prosecuted for that? But I need people to also understand the definition of covet, right? Like to yearn, yearn to possess or to have something. Like, so some of you all might be having an issue with the word covet, but that is the definition of it. Go ahead and do Webster.
Being envious,
right. But he said it before. He said it before. I mean, if you look up the little NBC thing that he did with Billy Bush, listen to the tape. He talks about that right there.
That's not locker room talk.
Nope.
That's real life. That's actually occurred.
And if it's locker room talk, clean up your damn locker room.
Tell me about it.
For real. And who did y'all play sports with? I just want to know.
I know. I spent how many years in the locker room? I mean, even through college.
Locker rooms.
Even through college, I was in the locker room, and we didn't have it like that.
If somebody was rapey like that in my locker room, dude, I moved around. I didn't hear him too much.
He talked about committing a crime. He talked about committing an actual crime. He admitted to a crime.
But then again, that may speak to your culture. So maybe you are from many of those locker rooms, and that's a part of your culture. I don't know. I blame the parents.
And maybe you're using the Bible to support that behavior.
I blame the parents.
Oh, he's been forgiven. He's asked for forgiveness. That dude ain't
where are
asked
the
for
parents?
forgiveness. Let's be real. Come on.
Where are the parents?
I mean, come on.
What was his dad in the Klan or something?
Yeah. No, I think the grandfather was the Klan one.
That's right. Dad got arrested for refusing to leave the Klan rally, but was never actually on the roster of the Klan.
It's so much. It's like trying.
He just like to hang out.
He's trying to identify like which one is actually fecal.
He read Playboy for the articles
or the diarrhea. Like it's all the same. It's all the same.
One of those things, you get it.
And bearing false witness, if we take it back to the 90s, the 80s, right? Central Park 5.
Central Park 5. Oh. Goodness gracious. So when evidence comes out that completely
before evidence, even before evidence, right? Like we said, we should kill them.
Yes.
Right? Because they've done something.
He wanted to commit murder. He was advocating for murder.
Yes, he was advocating for murder. Then when science, right? That thing that some of you conservative Christians call witchcraft, right? When science came out and said that... Right, you're watching us through a witch box right now. When science came out and said that, no, it was not them. He said he still didn't care. He doubled down on it.
He said kill him anyway.
He sure did.
Yes, doubled down on it.
He advocated for murder in the news.
This dude took out a article on it. And they say he wrote a little op-ed. He didn't write that.
He didn't write that.
He put his name to someone else's work.
Exactly.
We had Tucker Carlson.
Bring back the death penalty. Bring back the death penalty. But I guarantee you he didn't advocate for the death penalty for any of those serial killers that were in New York committing acts of rape at that time.
Right.
Look it up. It's out there. I love criminal stories. But look it up out there and find out during that same period who was actually out there committing these acts of rapes. I guarantee you that man never came out and said, kill them too.
Right.
Didn't happen.
Or himself.
Well, facts. Facts. The question is how many did he rape? How many girls did he deal with when he was out there on the island with Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, his buddy.
How many girls did he deal with? Because he admitted to walking into their changing room while he was with Miss Teen America.
Yeah.
In Russia, oddly enough, man, the strings are just so long and knotty. When he moved away from the Russian mafia, which we all know that Russian mafia are also oligarchs in Russia, he comes into Russia and he does his Miss Teen America pageant, and on high definition audio said that he would walk into their changing rooms. Now, tell me if your teenage daughter was in a room changing clothes and any man walked in on them, how you would feel.
Right, how you...
Would you say that's presidential?
So, two things. I want to push back a little bit. He didn't walk away from the mafia.
No, I didn't say he walked away. I'm just saying
there's no distancing.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
FBI had Trump Towers under investigation for the office spaces that they've leased in that building. Yeah. But you bring up the other thing, like if it was your daughter. So I was having coffee one time with one of our favorites, George Brockler, who is the district attorney for the 18th Judicial District here in Colorado. Mm-hmm. And this is right after that orange piece of digestive fluid won the election. And he was like, well, you got to give him a chance.
I heard that a lot.
You got to give him a chance to see what he's going to do. And I was like, no, you don't have to give it a chance to see what he's going to do. Like, he's showing you what he's going to do.
He's shown it.
So George he's slicker than Al shit, right? And so he's like, he's doing this. I said, all right, George, let's just put it like this. When would you leave your daughter around him alone?
Did you ask him that question?
I did.
Did he answer?
With his eyes. He looked like, you black son of a blip, 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 blip.
Oh my goodness.
And so,
I mean, not the way he treats his daughter.
But when I said that, right?
Wow.
He looked at me like that. George gave me all that type of look. And then he just nodded like, I got it. And we're done. We're done. If you would leave your child alone with Trump, right? That was at the age.
First of all, SMH.
At the age of whatever, right? At the same age when he was talking about like, yeah, if Ivanka wasn't my daughter, I might bang that.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Actually, I started to puke in my mouth.
I don't have kids, and I'm like,
and then you could say that was a flash in the pan. He went on another show, what was it, The View or something like that. They asked him, what do you have in common with Ivanka? And he said, I would say sex.
How? They're doing the same thing, but who it's just, I don't even want to dive down that thought, but that's just nasty.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. And then look at the pictures.
That was on daytime television.
Google the pictures, right? Use the Google on Al Gore's internet and look at the pictures of his hand placement on his daughter.
Oh, yes, I have.
And she was sitting on his lap after she was a little bit too old, too. That was the thing, too.
Yeah, this ain't like a tight ride for somewhere. And I got we just got to get somewhere or something, whatever. I don't know the scenario on that. But yeah, this is just inappropriate behavior.
Well, and and I'm not into making accusations, but here's the thing: being in the business of criminal defense for 18 years, there are certain patterns and things that you see which generally pan out to be true. I think if you look at the history of Donald Trump with respect to his treatment toward women, especially on a sexual nature and basis, you will probably be able to pull up a list and start checking off each of those things that you see, which probably will lead you to where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
That's probably fire.
Right
there. And not in a good way.
And if not, there's scorched earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Salted.
So guess what? Today we spent time bashing on number 45. You know why? Because probably 3 black men needed to vent on some of this bull slit that we dealing with right now. Okay? Yes, I said slit. You know why? Because it's a family show. And Slit is the name of a movie. It's a horror movie. Just in case you're wondering, for all those people who got bad minds. I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, we just had to get it off our chest.
Yeah.
What can you say?
And I'm gonna separate. I didn't bash anybody. I didn't.
He told the truth. He spoke truth.
I just talked about the man's resume.
That's actually kind of true. Because if we were bashing, we would probably have to be taking things out of context. And the problem is that we keep providing context.
Right.
And proof. And telling you to go and verify what we say.
Yeah, so
Please
if anything's wrong that we're talking about,
let me know.
Yes, send us a message.
We're easy to find. You can go to
comment
YouTube,
on the
email,
comment on Facebook.
Facebook, you can comment. We get it. We read it. We
Hit us on Instagram, Twitter. We there.
Right.
We're here for it.
All day.
But let me know.
So, and with that, I just want to say you're going to see a lot more.
I'll be back.
All day.
Ain't getting rid of me.
That's what's up.
I'm like a bad case of herpes.
Well, okay. I don't know what that's like. I've only read about it.
I got my start in this game from HIV STD prevention, right? So I use terms that are relatable so people can understand and remember things.
Hey yo.
And this is a family show,
Remember that nickname?
and I'm that family member.
Hey, and guess what? Family, you need to have real conversations, and that's what this is. We have real conversations.
That's right.
We're not here to sugarcoat.
Yeah.
We're here to have real conversations. And by the way, if it makes you uncomfortable, good.
Yeah.
Good. Adjust.
Exactly.
Adjust. Yeah.
Get
That's
comfy.
So with that,
That's about it for me.
any dope black thoughts at the end of the day?
Hit us with a dope black thought. What do you want to leave them with?
I'm just don't do impromptu stuff.
I don't do it impromptu either.
I got one. I got one for you. Verify your sources.
Oh.
Verify the person who you seem to put your trust and your faith into. And I use the word faith very specifically because you know what? A lot of folks, the Republicans, operate on this thing called faith.
Mm-hmm.
But if your faith is in someone who chooses not to believe themselves in faith, then what do you believe in?
And the
That's
Bible
my dope
says,
black thought.
put your trust in no man.
Ooh.
Put your faith in no man,
Ooh.
right? For those of you that want to get grammatically correct.
And I got one. If you're Christian evangelical and you're offended by us tying you to the morals of number 45 and you're like, oh, he's an imperfect vessel and God works through many in mysterious ways, look up the term motivated reasoning. Look up the term confirmation bias. Look up logical fallacies and see if there's any flaw in your reasoning when you actually try to say that you concretely believe that he's a good person, he's doing good things for America, when you consider 200,000 dead people, half the country literally on fire, and the economy with 40 million jobs lost, an infectious virus going around here after someone dismantled the pandemic response office that was left behind by the first black president.
Mm-hmm.
Just look into that and see if you may be having a little bit of confirmation bias, cognitive dissonance, and all that.
I like that dope black thought.
That's it.
That's it. All right, then. Peace. We'll see you at the next go round.
She loves me now, but it's all good cause I give her all that I got. I can't believe that I'm feeling away. I wanna let go, but these feelings will stay. I know the words, but got nothing to say. Who knew emotions could get in the way? I'm not okay, but I will be though. Wanted you to be my babe, but that ain't how it go. You say you care, but you show me you don't. I can't believe I'm having an emotional flow. But she ain't nothing like I'm used to. This feeling that I'm getting now's too new. I know we both got options, boo, but if I had to make a choice, I would choose you. I wonder, does she even love me? She's on my mind, but is she thinking of me? Trust issues make it hard for her to trust me.